Ta-da! I don't know what I'm ta-daing. I haven't done anything yet. I'm back! Did you miss me? I'm building a PC today. It's been a while since I've done one, so we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it works at the end. I guess you'll have to wait and see. Okay. I'm nervous, I feel weird on camera, but let's just go. So today's PC is a practical one. It's not going to be all pretty RGB because it's a storage PC. It's going to be hidden in the corner of the house. Nobody's going to be looking at it. So yeah, it's just all about hardcore storage. This is going to be a NAS storage PC. I don't know if it's NAS or NAS. I guess it's NAS because it's something about network something storage. It's going to be connected to the network, and that means that any other TV or PC connected to the same network will be able to stream or access the files on this PC, which is going to be full of hard drives. I'm reusing a few parts from my Leanne Lee build, the one that I upgraded at the end of last year. So this PC is going to have its 3600X CPU, the 1660 Super graphics card, and the 2 ballistic 16 gig sticks of RAM from that. The new parts for this one, and I'm going to read them because I'm not going to remember, is the ASRock X570 Pro Micro ATX motherboard, the Fractal Design Ion 560p PSU, the Seagate Barracuda 500GB NVMe, and 3 of the Ironwolf 12GB NAS storage NAS hard drives. And there's the neighbor's dogs. Okay, so the case is the Fractal Design Node 804 Micro ATX Cube case. I went with this one because of the huge amounts of storage in it, and I liked the way that the things hung. It sounds really weird. I really liked the way that the hard drives hung down in little slots instead of the usual stacking. But yeah, I did run into some problems with it. Puss? Puss says hello. Has to be on camera. So I've already had a bit of a play with this one. This is a new style of case and a new style of build altogether. I'm glad I did because I instantly ran into some issues with this case. Issues that meant that I needed to buy a 3D printer. Like needed is probably a bit of a strong word, but I bought a 3D printer to deal with the problems that we had. I've already installed the CPU. I got the motherboard and installed the CPU and the NVMe, and then realized that Amazon had sent me a B450 instead of the X570. So then I had to take that out, put it on, got an X570, put them on there. There were some bent pins on the CPU that we're not going to talk about, but it did drop into place perfectly. And so I think it should be fine. I guess we'll see. I decided to just go with the cooler that came with the CPU. If I want to upgrade later on, I can. The Node case actually has 2 chambers with four fans already installed, and it's meant to have really good airflow, so it should be enough. And if it's not, as I said, I can upgrade the cooler later. Okay, so the X570 motherboard, as you can see, it's got 8 SATA slots, 6 there, 2 there. Means it's future-proof. I have 3 hard drives at the moment, but I'm going to want to increase that in the future. And the B450 that Amazon accidentally sent me only had 4, which was why I definitely had to go with this one. Okay, so I'm going to install the NVMe. There is a Gen 4 slot here, but my NVMe card isn't Gen 4, it's only Gen 3, so I'm going to use this one here, which has also got the heatsink, so that should be beneficial. And there's Puss again meowing in the background. Hey, Puss. Okay, so the M2's in. That's just for real-time running of the machine. All the storage is on the hard drive, so that's why I didn't bother with Gen 4. Okay, put the RAM in now. I recommend to use A2 and B2 slots first. Nope, wrong way around. Good start. I guess I will mount this in the case. I can't remember what the next step is. I think that should be it. Okay, so this is the Fractal Node 804 case. The window on the side, mesh on top. So you can see the brackets here where the hard drives go. They hang down that way. But this is the side that the motherboard and everything go in. So I'm working over here first. It's already got standoffs in there. Can't remember if I put them in when I was fiddling with it or whether they already came in. 2 inbuilt fans on this side and 1 on the other. Oh, I was wrong before when I said it had 4 inbuilt fans. It's only got 3. Okay, so the motherboard's in. I'll put the hard drives in now. So I've just made the decision then, I don't know if it's the right decision. I'm going to put the hard drives here on this side because it's right next to a fan. So I figured that will help with the airflow. So I went with the Seagate Ironwolf NAS. I went with that one specifically. It had a bunch of really good reviews. This PC is going to run 24/7, so it's key that it's a reliable hard drive, and that's what this one is built for. Long-term continuous usage and reliability. So we went with that. It's a little bit more expensive than the normal hard drives, but yeah, you don't want it failing. Okay, so this is the mount. Here's the hard drive. You can see they're meant to slot right in here and hang nicely like this. The problem is that you can screw in here, but on the hard drives, there's no middle screw hole. Screw hole? Screw hole. I didn't want it hanging and swinging. That's really not good for hard drives to be moving. So I Googled it, as you do, and this is a known issue, obviously. I find it really strange that it's an issue. I would have thought that they would have made this just a bit longer or started putting a screw hole here so that you didn't have to do this. The solution is to 3D print some brackets. Now I could have sent off and got these 3D printed, but no, I went and bought a 3D printer and printed my own brackets, of course. So the way this works, you can see it's got a little thing here and that clicks through the hole. It lines up with the screw holes. So you have a bracket holding everything in place. Okay, and there we have it, nice and secure. Thank God for Thingiverse. 3D printers are so cool. It's like, I don't have something that I need, I can just print it. It's like Star Trek or something. It's like having a replicator. I don't know about this kind of plastic. It's an ABS. I don't know how it will do under heat pressure. It should be fine, but I guess it's something for me to keep an eye on in the future. So now I'm going to just do some of the cables, connect up the fans that are already in there. The cooler's already connected, and then I guess put all the SATA cables in for the hard drives. Oh my God, there's so many things to connect. I can't remember where anything goes. Actually, I will put the PSU in. So now looking at it, I think I'm going to move the hard drives to this slot here, because looking at it, I've realized that the PSU is here, and so it might get hot here, which will counter the benefit of the fan in the back that I was thinking. So I'm just going to move that over. Lucky it's really easy to do, and I only have to undo these 2 screws and not all the hard drives. I feel like that gives it a lot of airflow, which is what we want. I just had to pull all the screws out to find the 4 that I needed for the PSU. That's why I like these little cases, like the Fantex one. My blades just fell down. Oh, that scared the shit out of me. Okay, so I'm putting in the 1660 Super from my Leanne Lee build. This obviously wouldn't need a graphics card that was this good, but since I already had it, I figured might as well put it to good use. Okay, so I finished the computer. She's all done. It was actually quite an easy build. The cable management's not too bad because there's plenty of room for all the cables in the back and in the front as well. And since this PC is not like a pretty one, it doesn't really matter as much what it looks like. But let's see if it boots. That does matter, whether it boots or not. That's important. I know that I said this one didn't have RGB, but I guess these components which came out of my other computer do have RGB because of course they do. It's me. Detecting the 3 hard drives, Nvme, and this is my boot. It's looking good so far. Okay. Okay, so now that I know that she boots, I know that I want to do Linux distro and RAID 5. That's the perfect balance between speed, safety, and cost. But that seems like a tomorrow problem. Stay tuned. Okay, so I'm back. I've installed Fedora, as you can see, and now I'm going to set up the RAID. I've decided to go with RAID 5. I think it's the best for this application. I'll try and explain it. Probably won't be great. I have 3 hard drives, which are 12 terabytes each. I'll only have access to... Whoop, it's going to sleep. I'll only have access to 24 terabytes because the other 12 will be used up with parity information, which is sort of, I think, copies or bits of it, so that if we lose one of the hard drives, the information from the others can make up for what has been lost. I don't think that's the right way of explaining it. You can Google it, that's what I did. But yeah, it's not as dangerous as the ones where the information is spread across all the hard drives, and if you lose one hard drive, you've lost everything. It's also not as secure as, I think it's RAID 1, which is everything is duplicated. But with that one, you lose half your memory. It's very secure, but not great value. I'm not storing anything like baby photos or wedding photos or anything that, really matters on here. It's movies, TV shows, music, travel photos, which are probably stored elsewhere. So if we did lose it, if there was a double system failure in one of the hard drives, it wouldn't be the end of the world. So yeah, RAID 5, way to go. I think there's also a RAID 6 now, but I only have 3 hard drives, and RAID 6 you need 4. So RAID 5. Okay, let's see. Finish setting up Fedora. Wrong keyboard. Okay, so I need to download the app. It's called, whoops. Using 2 mice and 2 keyboards in one spot's really hard. Okay, so I'm going to use the add cockpit. After some research, that was the best one to set up the RAID with from what I could find. That worked with Fedora. Scroll down. It's not the easiest to install. Easy to use. Ugh. Installing and running Cockpit. Terminal. And then we copy this, paste this in our terminal. And it's installing. Okay, finally, we're in. I had a few problems there. I didn't know the port, which is 9090. I found a YouTube video explaining that. Thank God for YouTube videos. And then once I got there, then I was trying to log in and it was telling me my password was wrong. I was trying to do Pixie, which is the user that I set up, as you saw, but it needed to be under root, which I got a bit confused. But I've done that now. Root is in. No. And we go to storage and devices, and we create a RAID device. I will call this Pixie RAID. Pixie RAID. RAID 5. The chunk size. So I've Googled this a bit and I've looked at different things, and there seems to be conflicting information as to whether to go with a large chunk size or a small chunk size for media files. Media files are obviously quite large. So yeah, I'm going to go with the default, which is this, because default is safe. So I select these 3, which are my 3 hard drives. Pixie RAID, RAID 5, 512 kilobytes, and we create. Cool. All this stuff, I did have a bit of practice on a virtual machine and got a bit of advice about it because I don't really know about these things. I didn't want to jump straight into it on the new PC, although obviously if I do something wrong, there's no information on this yet anyway, so I can wipe it all and start again. I went and had some dinner, come back, it's still creating the RAID, so that's a bit of a bummer. I'll see if there's something else I can do. Podman. I've heard containers are really good. I don't understand containers. I've been told that nobody understands containers though, but I'm going to use containers to run Plex. I think that's what I'm doing. Here you go, get new image and look for Plex, which is what I will be using. I will go with the official one, download. So we've got that now. Friendly Vaughn, I don't like that name. Elegant Minsky. I like all the different names. Kind Cox. Now there's one. Should I keep it that? Let's keep it that. Memory limit, I'm just going to leave it as the default. Actually, should I increase that? 512 seems quite low. I'm going to give it 4 gig. This is 32400. 32400. I know that because that's what Plex was before. Okay. Kind Cox. How on earth would that be the name that it came up with? Fingers crossed, Plex. There we go. So I have Plex installed in a container. Whatever that means. I have to say that this PC, I haven't got the covers on it or anything, it's just open air at the moment. And it's so quiet. Like, I can hear my Leanne Lee one buzzing away. I can hear the Fantex one over there buzzing away. They're both, I guess this one's running like sort of streaming, it's recording with multiple devices going into it. That one is running a couple of virtual machines at the moment. But yeah, this one's silent. Like the fans are going, but I can't hear them. It is beautiful. I did just touch the hard drives though. As I said, I haven't got the covers on the case and they are quite warm. So I might need to turn the fans up on it. Maybe they'll be less quiet. Let's see. I've just turned the fans onto medium. It's still pretty quiet, it's still much quieter than these two. The hardware side of this build has been really easy, super straightforward. There were no issues apart from 3D printing the brackets for the hard drives, I guess. But it's been a really nice build. The case is great to work in. But yes, just the software has been, wow. It's been a lot to learn. We just saw 14 hours there on it now. So we're making progress. We're at 9%. I guess yesterday when I did it on the virtual machine, it took a long time and that was a tiny little machine that I made. So I should have known that that was going to be the case. Hi, Puss. You going to come up and say hello? Come on. There's been a lot for me to learn. I've learned about binary. I've learned about RAIDs, obviously, and I've learned about running Linux, Fedora, and the terminal. There's been a lot of Googling. I can tell you that. There has been a lot of Googling because these are things that I've not needed to understand before. But yeah, software. It's always harder, I find, than the actual hardware. Hardware, you can screw things in, unscrew them. So yeah, tomorrow I'll come back and finish this off in 15 hours. Oh, nope. Nearly went to click stop on that, which would have been stopping making the RAID. I mean to do stop recording. And we're done, finally. I feel like that was longer than 15 hours. I can't remember now. It was so long ago. Create partition table. Don't override existing data. There is no existing data, so I don't need to worry about that. And it is definitely larger than 2 terabytes, so format. Okay, so then we create partition, 21 terabytes, because of course, as I said, 12 terabytes is being used up with parity. Don't override existing because there is none. XFS, going with the default, just go with what it recommends. Name, we're going to call it storage. And don't need to encrypt the data at this point. So the mount point, I'm going to call that storage as well. The mount point is like Linux's, like the directory, so like a letter drive on Windows, if that makes sense. Okay, so another build done. I guess it's going to be a weekend of binge watching all the TV shows and movies and things that I've had stored away on hard drives in boxes. Well, actually, no, it's probably going to be a weekend of transferring all those files onto these hard drives. It's going to be a lot of work. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe below. I'll be back with some more projects soon. I've got a couple more PC builds or some mods and things I want to do. I don't know, we'll see what happens. Thank you to all those people who have been supporting me and chatting with me and stuff during my break between videos. It has been a bit of a long one, but you know, jump back on the horse, start building computers again. Some saying like that, I don't know. Anyway, thanks again. Have a good day, have a good night, and I will see you next time. Bye. Get away! Escape, puss, puss. Mouse.